Well, welcome to another episode of Spotlight. Unfortunately, Fuller needs to be somewhere else this afternoon, so he's not going to be featuring in this episode, so you've got me on your own. So, we are in Sevenoaks, not too far from my home, and it's a lake called Combe Banks Fishery. Now, I've never fished this one before. I've turned up, and first impressions, this lake is right up my street. Directly behind me, we've got some snags, and just underneath that ivy there, you may be able to see in the distance, there's a bit of a brick wall. Well, underneath that ivy is like a castle archway, maybe it's an old boathouse or something like that, but it is very, very cool. Round the corner a bit further, we've got some Victorian old iron railings, we've got weirs, we've got a dam up the far end, and as you come back round the corner, there's some form of old mine as well. So there's everything going on here. Like I say, it's picturesque, it's right up my street, and I'm looking forward to this. I think we're going to have a few fish, but I say that every time, but only time will tell. Right, so the plan is, I've had a walk around twice today. I've actually seen fish everywhere, but we've got a massive disadvantage with us on this trip, and that is we've got a once in a year occurrence, and that's the mayfly larvae have decided to hatch. They're crawling out of their nymphs on the side there. I had one on my jumper a minute ago. I just hope they're not going to be on the naturals too much and they're still going to pick up some of the boilies and that. Because I've got no naturals on me. I may be hooking a nymph on a zig, I don't know. I need to find out what they're eating. I don't know anything about this lake. It's a new venue. But I've got to unlock it and find out what's working and what's not quickly, because I've only got 36 hours. I've got to get under the tree because the tree overhangs quite a bit. I've got to punch it, really. I do. Oh, that's got a bite on it. I'm telling you, if that doesn't go, I'm going to eat one of my boilies. The fishy boilies. Mate, that, you know that gap? That's gone between them two branches and that fallen tree out there. It's gone right in that bay. I don't think I could have placed it any better if I walked round and dropped it by hand. My money's on this rod, middle rod. Are you ready? Yeah. Wow. It looks like I'm not going to have to eat my boilies because that rod that I said had a bite all over it. It's just produced this nice little common. Cracking little fish. And I kid you not, that bait was so well presentated out there, and I was that confident that was out there no more 10-15 minutes, and we got the live take as well with it. Happy days. Well, it's been a few hours now, and I think I might bring these rods in, walk over that far margin and just introduce a little bit of fine particle bait just to try and get the fish in there and hold them in there. The wind's beating into the corner along that snaggy margin, and like I say, there has been a larvae hatch, so most of these larvae are blowing into that corner and they can't really go anywhere once they're there. So there's a lot of naturals holding up along that far margin, which is where I had that fish from. So I'm going to bring those in, put a little bit of bait out there, rest the swim for a little bit, just to allow them to move back in there, and I'm going to go and have a stalk down that bottom end, because that sun's beating down on them lily pads now and there's got to be fish down there. And I think that's going to be a night boy over there. So I went to my local supermarket and got some stale bread from Spa. Proper stale as well. But I need this to sink, so I've got to moisten it a little bit, because it's just going to float so badly. So what I'm going to do, just a nice little bit of bread flake, going to squeeze the air pockets out with my fingers, a little bit of spit, like that, hook on the side, and then that will just hopefully nail it if they suck it in. It's all about quickly striking into these fish as soon as they suck it up, because there's no weight to that when they suck it in. So effectively, you striking is the only way you're going to set the hook. You haven't got a lead to do it. That was a little frustrating really. Did see some fish over there, but the ducks just spooked them off, couldn't get on them, couldn't get any bait in. Didn't really see anything else until I got up to the dam wall up the very, very far end and see two fish bosh. Now I've just Googled the weather for the next day, well today and tomorrow, and it's a northeasterly wind pushing down onto that bank. Now I have seen fish there today as well, throughout the day. Didn't look anything massive, but the thing that was putting me off a little bit is it's quite deep. It's the deepest part of the lake. It's 8-9 foot down that end. But if they're there and I need to move, I will do. I'm not moving tonight. I still think I'm going to get something off of those snaggy areas over there. That's just got, for me personally, bite written all over it. And we've got this like little causeway where the lake actually narrows in. So if the fish are still moving about patrolling from the shallows to the deep, shallows to deep, they've got to come through here at some point. So that may be another spot where I need to put a bait. And I've just made my mind up. I'm going to put a bait there just to see if I can catch something passing through from the shallows to the deep. If I don't get anything tonight, I'm going to get up early in the morning, keep a very, very close eye what's going on down there, and if I see more than 2 fish show themselves down in the morning, I'm going to move. And there's my little friend, you little girl. We are on the dance floor. The sun is now just going over the horizon over there, and the lake has changed considerably. It's now gone slack, it's like a mill pool. Yeah, all the ripply on the water surface is now gone, and I'm starting to see a lot more things that I couldn't see earlier, and the fish have started to liven up, particularly in front of the swim where I am now. We did see quite a bit going on over there, but they look a lot more active and they look like they're feeding. So all of a sudden, I think I'm in the right place and I'm on a bit of a high. I've just recast my rods. I'm making a cup of coffee, and I'm just going to continue to watch this water, because I hope I might be able to get another one just before darkfall. But I don't know whether this lake is good for a night bite or it's a day bite, so it's all new to me, but it is looking very, very carpy out there, and I think something's going to happen. I just feel like something's going to happen. Ready? Yeah. There we go, look at that stunner. Some big, big apple slices on it. Lovely fish. It's number 2 now. And that mist is just starting to lift. Hopefully I can see a few more and try and make another one slip up. But yeah, another cracking fish. This venue is absolutely phenomenal. There she goes. Lovely. Nothing last night, but just had a fish. Literally, as the sun's started to rise this morning, mist across the lake, and it's a nice 25-pound 9-ounce mirror. Some really, really big apple scale slices on the side of it as well, and yeah, had some nice colour to it. Generally, all in all, a nice, healthy looking fish. Mouth was immaculate as well. So that's the benefit of these places. You know, you can tell again the quality and stamp of angler on here. They look after the fish, they know what they're doing. There's a few things hanging from trees like Christmas decorations, but what I like about this particular venue is each swim, the trees have been allowed to grow and been maintained in a way that each swim's got its own water, and you physically can't cast into swims next door. So again, yeah, so it's a really, really nice lake. Used to be 2 separate ponds. It's about 150 years old, this lake, and now it's been made into one lake. So quite interesting to see if there is some old fish in here that are really, really wise and wary, hiding up. You just don't know. There can be absolutely anything in here. So the plan for today, this morning I've been up, like I say, first light, and most of the activity seems to be in them snags over there. And just before we started doing this update, a fish crashed in that corner and I had to recast a rod quickly. So I'm going to pack this down in a little while. I am going to basically get everything ready on the barra, and I'm going to fish off the barra today. So I'm probably going to stay here, but if I do see anything else, if everything's on that barra, I can move on to the fish quickly. That's the plan. I would like another 1 or 2. I'm not going to be greedy, but yeah, I'll take as many as I can get really, but another 1 would just finish this off nicely. So let's see what I can do. Right, I've seen some fizzing just in that corner there, just off the margin, and it is bubbling like a jacuzzi. Now I've got to try not to spook these fish here, so I've got some little 2-ounce leads on here, but even they might be a little bit heavy. I may opt to take the lead off and just free line a hair rig straight down on them and watch the line twitch. The last thing I want to do is spook these fish, because there seems to be a few down there. Just got a bit of corn, a bit of pellet, small stuff, not going to create too much disturbance. I'm just going to see if they come on that. if need be, I can just bring my rigs in a little bit closer. But where my rig has just dropped, it's starting to fizz. There was a guy, I think, on that bank, and he was fishing this end, so the likelihood is, once he's gone, the fish have moved on to his baited areas, so I don't need to put a lot out. Well, that's it, I've decided. I've given this spot long enough, and I'm going to go back for the last couple of hours now and sit on those areas which I have introduced a little bit of bait, and he's going to tell them off. Naughty, naughty goose. So yeah, I'm going to head back up there. Okay, so let me just go through the rig that I'm using. Now, I'm using the same rig, but I'm using it in two different ways. Now, the first fish that I had was on this rig, and as you can see, it is a solid bag rig. It's a little short 3.5 to 4 inch rig, and I've tied a 1.5 inch hair, got a 15mm bait, topped off a little bit of corn. So I load that into a bag, and basically that has been, well, it produced the first fish. But over in that corner, it is very, very snaggy, and I wanted to get some single baits in there, but using a long rig, which is what I normally use, a 9-inch rig, would cause tangling, and potentially it would frap up and maybe get caught in the trees over there. I've got the narrowest of gaps over there to get this rig in, so a short rig like that will help. Now there's going to be obviously a reduced splash with a little 2-ounce rig there, and I just get a bit of PVA foam and I just fold that round the back of the hook, round to the point, give it a little lick, and that will protect the hook itself. So if I do cast and literally clip the trees, the hook's not going to get caught up, and theoretically I've got more of a chance of that actually coming off the branch and falling into the water. So that's why I'm doing that. It's going to go like a torpedo. I can punch it hard and low, and then I can use my hand to slow the lead down just as it's starting to go into the gap where I want it. Obviously, as you start casting, with the wind coming across this way, the line is actually bowing. So as it's going just about to enter into the gap that I want, I'm starting to thumb down, so effectively that bow in the line with the wind starts to straighten out, so it's going directly into the hole, so this isn't catching on the branches. It's a bit of an effort, it can take a few attempts, but if you practice and practice and practice, it's really, really good, and you will end up getting your rigs into areas that others won't, and to places where fish feel really, really safe. And I think that is the key for this session, because all of my fish have come off the same area, and I don't think it's an area many people can probably cast to. There's going to be a select few that can get in there, 20% of anglers I reckon, but it is tight, and that's it. Gone under the other bloody rod, isn't it? Jamie, can you grab that other rod out of the way?
Am I going under?
Under, and then that's it. Reel it in. That's right. Let's leave that there. That's fine. just pinged off of its dorsal, and I hate it when it does that. It's not quite ready. Right, let's get that net in the water. Come on, baby. Well, that's the thing. When you're snag fishing, you need to be on that rod quick. And I think if I was any later getting to that, I could have been in all sorts of trouble. But it was there. And it's that little short rig again, doing the damage. There we go. What a way to end this episode. There we go, look at that. A fish with character. A little bit of an unusual shape, but absolute lovely scaly banger. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed doing this session. I thought it was going to be really hard because of the mayfly hatch. Not going to lie, it's been challenging, and I've worked really hard to catch the fish that I've caught over this session. It's just over 24 hours, but yeah, happy, very happy. So yeah, well, until next time, I hope you've liked this episode, and I will catch up with you guys and girls again very soon.